Hello, welcome to the Breeze channel. My name is Modipe Bakari. I'm so excited today because I'm shooting my first Breeze video outside. Why would the channel be called Breeze and we never stay outside to shoot the videos? So today I'm outside. Another reason why I'm so excited is because I'm not the one sharing my story today. We have Ronke Odewumi, who also has a YouTube channel for Bulletproof Your Life, sharing how she survived a financial difficulty through God's amazing grace. I've listened to it and it blessed me. I'm sure it will bless you too. So keep watching.
Hi everyone, my name is Ronke Odewumi and I'm delighted to be here with you. Thank you Dupe for having me on the Breeze channel. I'm honored. Today, as Dupe mentioned, I'm going to be talking about how God's grace has featured in my finances, how God's grace has lifted me up. In 2007, yes, I'm taking you back, I came to the UK to study for a master's degree and life was good. I had my master's degree at the London School of Economics. I finished with fantastic grades. 2008, I was ready to go back into the work market. Unfortunately, I had finished my master's program right at the beginning of the recession. The UK had gone into recession, there were no jobs to be had, and I started living on my savings. Honestly, things just went from bad to worse to worse. I was living on my savings. I got some kind of part-time job that I was doing. The money was poor. I was just managing, living from hand to mouth, and I couldn't make head or tail of my finances. But I kept pushing, I kept trying, I kept managing, looking for a better job. Even though the recession was there and it was making it difficult. I was a teacher in a school, then I got a job in a charity. I was just doing different jobs, trying to make ends meet. But my finances were just not working. I'm not a spendthrift, but that was the lesson for me. This was the period where I learned that no matter how frugal you are, no matter how financially savvy you are, you need the grace of God in your finances. You need God's hand on your money for it to work for you. Because even though I was trying to live within my means, I kept falling into debt. And then in 2011, my contract ended. And the normal thing was for me to get a new contract. But suddenly I couldn't. There was nothing I could do. I searched high and low. I turned my CV in to so many companies. I must have applied for 1,000 jobs. Nothing was coming. I would go for interviews. Nothing was coming. And then after a while, I got a job. But the job wasn't paying a lot. It was paying just enough for me to survive. But I kept on. I was living hand to mouth. I was struggling to live within my income. It was as if the devil had put a hand in my finances. Things never added up. I would lose money. I would, make bad decisions. It just was happening to me repeatedly. And I was in debt and I couldn't come out of it. And it was affecting everything. It was affecting my whole life. It was affecting how I was. Things got so bad at some point. I struggled to pay my rent. I struggled to take care of myself, and it started to affect me in my mind. I became unhappy. I couldn't understand what was going on, and it was a whole year of financial downturn. And this was in addition to the fact that I had had a really tough 2-3 years before. Things just went from bad to worse. I fell into more debt, but I couldn't keep up. It was just difficult for me. I was struggling to pay my rent. I was struggling to feed. It got to a point I rented out my 1-bedroom apartment, and then I was sleeping in the living room. I asked the person that rented the apartment to let me sleep in the living room, and I kept my stuff in the hallway. That was how bad my finances had gotten at that point. And then I just kept crying out to God, please do something for me. Do something for me. Let your grace abound. And then I had the morning devotional once. I was reading it, and the devotional said, speak to your finances, speak grace into it, speak the grace of God to your finances. Ask the grace of God and the peace of God to come into your finances. Call forth your wealth, call forth the grace of God into your finances. So I started doing that. So every day I would call forth the grace of God into my finances. I would pray every morning, please God, I speak your grace into my finances. And then I had peace. And I continued doing my low-paying job. I was managing. Somehow things started getting better. I was making ends meet. All sorts of little jobs that brought really good money came along. If I sold something that was old in my house, I would sell it for a really good price. If I put something up for bid on eBay, people would bid very highly. I would get good money. The person that rented my apartment to left, and somebody else came in who wanted to pay twice. And very soon I started paying off my debt. I started taking care of myself better. All the while I kept speaking grace into my finances. In fact, there was a time I would wake up in the morning very early at 5 a.m. and I would say, I pray for the wealth of the heavens to find me. I pray for the grace of God to be in my finances. I command the peace of God into my money. I command the peace of God into my job. And I kept doing this. And in 2012, I applied to a company for a job. I had applied to those kind of companies repeatedly before, and I never made the interviews. I never passed the interviews, or if I'll pass halfway, I'll pass through a stage or two and they will drop me. And then I applied to this company in 2012 and I sailed through the interview process. I sailed through it so easily, so well. I was able to change jobs, and that job brought more than a £20,000 increase to my salary. And that was how I went from in debt and out of grace to out of debt and full of grace. There was God in my finances. He came through for me and things changed. My life turned around. I didn't start spending money anyhow at that point, because if you go to my channel, you will find out that I'm into financial coaching, and that's because I have lived the hard life. I have lived the life of being in debt. I've lived the life of trying to make very, very thin ends meet, and I can tell you now that being frugal is key, but also having the grace of God in your finances is key. And once my salary changed, I was able to start paying off my debt really quickly. I sat down, budgeted my money, started saving, and I was able to step out of the problems I was in into a more comfortable life, and then to start thinking about consolidating my finances. And at the end of the day, I can say that it was the grace of God that gave me that push, that initial push, and continues to give me push to be on top of my finances and live the bulletproof life I'm living right now, which you will find out more on my channel. And the grace of God just abounds. So if you're having financial issues, you're having debt issues, you want your finances to be better, in addition to speaking to a financial coach like me or a financial advisor, you need to bring God into your finances. You need to bring the grace of God, the favor of God into your finances, so that God will release his wealth into your finances, into your money. It's really been an honor to sharing my story with you, and I hope my story has blessed you. Thank you again, Dupe, for having me on your channel. It's been a delight, and have a blessed rest of the day. Bye.